You ever seen a courtroom turn on its own axis like one of those old westerns where you don't know if you're about to see a hanging or a miracle? That was the air inside Judge Harlan's courtroom that morning, thick enough to chew. Everybody packed in, eyes darting, waiting for some dumb kid to get crushed by the system. I mean, you could taste the anticipation and maybe a little bit of blood, too. And right there, front and center, sat me, David Miller, looking like the sacrificial lamb in an oversized suit that used to belong to my big brother. You know what I mean? You ever wear clothes that make you feel smaller, not bigger? That's how this started. Judge Harlan. She had this way of looking at you like she already read your obituary. And when she started, her voice was all sugar and ice, mister. Miller, you sure you want to defend yourself in a grand theft auto and resisting arrest case? This isn't a game. And the gallery god, the gallery that chuckled. Prosecutor Grayson even smirked, already smoothing his tie like he had the win in his pocket. But I told the judge, I understand the gravity, Your Honor. I've reviewed the evidence. I'm ready. Inside, my knees were shaking, but my voice, steady as a rock. You gotta fake it till you make it, right? Grayson wasted no time, launching into his opening like he was on some cop show. We have overwhelming evidence. Eyewitnesses. Video. Everyone's nodding. And I know I'm up against a tidal wave, except I spent nights at my mom's kitchen table, studying everything I could about my own case. Not because I'm a genius, but because sometimes the only one fighting for you is you. First up, Officer Daniels. Built like a linebacker, zero humor. Tells the court he found me hot wiring a black sedan, caught me red-handed. I ran, he chased in a story. That's the narrative. I just scribbled notes, breathing through it, waiting. When it was my turn, I stood, let the nerve slide off, and asked, Officer, you say you saw me messing with the wire show far away, were you? He says, about 20 feet at night. So I hand him a photo close-up of the dash and ask, can you point to the wires? He squints, frowns, then admits they're inside the dashboard. Right? So how do you see me through a closed window in the dark from 20 feet? The jury starts to murmur. People love a magic trick, especially when the magician is just a kid. Grayson object speculation. Judge weighs him off. Suddenly, people are watching me for real. Next, Mrs. Thompson, owner of the stolen car. She's all tight-lipped and upset, tells how her car vanished in the night, found later with me inside. I ask, any damage, broken windows, forced locks? She shakes her head. No, car was intact. So I go, how'd the thief get in? Maybe they had a key. She says only her and her husband have keys. I just nod, let it hang there. Now here's the twist. I call James Thompson, her husbando, the stand. Prosecutor loses it. Objection, surprise witness. Judge lets me go ahead. So I ask Mr. Thompson, you lend your car to anyone? He glances at his wife, then mutters, I let my nephew Alex borrow it for a date. You could feel the temperature drop. So I say, wasn't stolen, just borrow, right? He nods. Now the courtroom's buzzing like a beehive. Grayson's face turns red. His whole charge just slid off the table. But the state's not done. They bring up Detective Harris, the closer, cool as a cucumber. He swears there's video of me entering the car. But when I push, he admits the footage is grainy. Face isn't clear. So I hand him a still, ask him to point to my face. Can't. Couldn't it have been someone else? I ask. He shrugs, says the build matches. I shoot back. Did you ever investigate Alex, the nephew? Nope, all eyes on me. I thank him and let it ride. Now the whole case is wobbling, and Judge Harlan leans forward, eyes sharp. Mr. Miller, even if the grand theft charge is shaky, you still ran from an officer. What? Here's where you hold your breath, because if you mess up, it's over. So I call Alex Thompson. He's nervous, avoids his aunt's eyes. Alex, did you borrow the car? He nods. What happened after? He left it near his house. When he came back, it was gone. Did you see anyone? He remembers some sketchy guy hanging around, but didn't tell the cops. So, not stolen, just left unattended. I connect the dots for the jury. But Grayson hammers. He still fled from police. So I lay it out. Officer Daniels was in plain clothes, never showed a badge. I thought I was about to get jumped, not arrested. I ran because I was scared, not because I was guilty. And you could feel the shift, the whole room feeling it too. The judge calls a pause, turns to Grayson. You got anything else? He stumbles, rests the case, still insisting I'm guilty. Judge turns to me. Any final witnesses? I stand heart pounding, but now, finally, I'm not scared. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to testify. So I tell it plain. I never meant to break the law. Saw a car, door open, keys inside. Thought maybe someone needed help. Suddenly, a man yells and chases me. No badge, no uniform. I ran. Later I'm in cuffs, charged with a crime I didn't commit. I studied law books. I fought not just for me, but for anybody who ever got steamrolled by a system that don't care if you're right or wrong, just if you fit the part. Maybe I'm not a lawyer, but I know what's right. And I proved it today. Jury's faces have gone soft now. Even Judge Harlan looks less like a hammer, more like a person. She thanks me, asks the prosecution if they want to cross-examine. Grayson just shakes his head, done fighting ghosts. The judge turns to the jury, gives them the duty, tells everyone to come back tomorrow. You ever sit through a night where the world might end or start? That's how I waited, feeling every second. The next morning, the place was packed. The jury files in, and the foreman stands, voice steady. On grand theft auto, not guilty. On resisting arrest, not guilty. Some people cheered. Some grumbled. Me? I just let out a breath I'd been holding since the day I got arrested. The judge slammed her gavel, called order, then looked at me and said, "You're free to go, Mr. Miller." But right as I turned, she stopped me. "What you did was remarkable. Maybe you ought to think about law school. We need people like you." I nodded. First time in weeks, I smiled for real. I pushed through the crowd, reporters shouting, people patting my back. Outside, the world looked different. Alex ran up, apologizing for getting me into this mess. I told him, "It's not your fault, man. The system failed both of us. Maybe now it'll change." He grinned, asked what I'd do next. "Maybe law school," I said. "If I could beat them without a degree, imagine what I could do with one." He laughed, told me I'd change the world. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But for the first time in my life, I know the fight is worth it. That knowledge that refusal to give up can flip the script, even when the odds are stacked to the ceiling. That's how you break a system, one stubborn kid at a time. Now let me ask you, if you were in my shoes, would you fight back or just take the hit? How many times has justice depended on someone nobody believed in? Share your thoughts. Where's the line between right and wrong, courage and foolishness, the system and the people? Let's hear what you think.